Yesterday, a story went viral about a bunch of young kids wearing Trump supporter Make America Great Again hats, surrounding a Native American man while he banged on his drum, and you can see one young man very close to the face of the Native American. The initial tweet claimed that these Trump supporters went to the Indigenous Persons March, surrounded this man, and got in his face. I know you're angry about this story. Many people are calling for these kids to have their identities revealed. The school they go to has issued an apology, and many people are calling for their expulsion. But I want to ask you to do something right now. There is a lot more to this story than just the video you have likely seen. There's actually a 2-hour-long live stream. Now, obviously, I don't expect you all to watch the 2-hour-long live stream because, well, that's just ridiculous. But I do want you to watch at least some key moments from the live stream, and I want to present to you the greater context of what happens. And after that, if you still want to be angry with these kids, by all means, you're allowed to be. But please watch this video and look at the evidence so that at least when it comes to the actual argument, you know entirely what happened in this situation, or at least you'll know more about what happened in this situation. So that's what we're going to do today, and we're going to start with the official story as reported by CBS News. This story was published just this morning. It's one of the most latest versions of the story. Viral video shows teenagers wearing MAGA hats mocking Native American Vietnam veteran. A group of white teenagers, many wearing MAGA hats, were captured on video taunting a Native American Vietnam veteran singing during the first Indigenous Peoples March on Friday. The video posted on YouTube by user KC Noland went viral on Twitter. Nathan Phillips, the man mocked by the teenagers outside of Lincoln Memorial, said in a video posted to Instagram by user KA Yal that he heard them chanting, "Build the wall." This is Indigenous land. You're not supposed to have walls here. We never did for a millennia. We never had a prison. We always took care of our elders, took care of our children, always provided for them, taught them right from wrong. I wish I could see that energy, put that energy to making this country really, really great, Phillips said, wiping away tears. This is the initial video that started to go viral. Now, I don't want to play through all of the videos necessarily, but I do want to make one key point in this clip. Here you can see the Native American man is drumming. The kid who has been identified as the one who stood in the face of this man. There's something important you need to see, so let's watch through this video. You can see the Native American man is walking through the crowd of people, and some of them move out of his way. Eventually, this Native American man makes his way up to the now infamous kid in question, who's wearing the MAGA hat and standing in front of him. Actually, you can see the kid just right over here to the left, and as of this moment, so far in the video, they have not confronted this man. So I just want to wait, and there's the kid in question. You can see the Native American then walks up to that kid, okay? Not the other way around. The initial narrative that we heard from the activists was that these kids went to the Indigenous Persons March, that this kid got in this man's face. You have just seen right now, it's actually the other way around. What I am saying is not in defense of anything the kids are doing. This is just an important detail that provides important context. Here is the man walking up to that kid, not the other way around. There's some more important context that we do need to go through from a 2-hour-long live stream that shows us just how this incident started. This video I have pulled up here is the initial live stream. It was produced by a man named Shar Yakates Banyam Yan. This man is presumably a member of a group called the Black Hebrew Israelites. It is my understanding that they're a known hate group as listed by the Southern Poverty Law Center. I'm not entirely sure if they do include them on their map, but I do know they have written about this group. These individuals were at the event yelling homophobic slurs. I'm not going to play those videos specifically because people are flagging this content. I will have an archive of the live 2-hour broadcast posted in the description below so you can watch it, and I will include timestamps. Now, this video on Facebook was deleted shortly after it was discovered. I'm not entirely sure why, but many other videos providing evidence were also deleted. This video you see right here that says video unavailable. This is the video in question that was being shared showing the Black Hebrew Israelites were yelling homophobic slurs. I'd like to take this moment now to present to you how the Native American man saw the incident and how CNN reported it. Just a few clips, not the whole 4-minute section.
We are hearing from a Native American elder and Vietnam War veteran speaking to CNN after a disturbing viral video shows a group of teens harassing and mocking him in the nation's capital. Here's the video sparking outrage on social media right now. Nathan Phillips was beating his drum and singing an American Indian protest song. And this was on Friday on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial when he saw a clash erupting between a group of teenage students and 4 African-American young men preaching about the Bible and oppression. Well, Phillips says he immediately sensed danger.
Now, what I want to highlight is that CNN said it was young black men preaching about the Bible, when in fact, this group is the Black Hebrew Israelites. I'm not saying they have anything to do with this video in question. I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't defend them, but it's important you realize that this Native American man said they were black activists as reported by CNN and others. This is a mirror of the initial video that was removed from YouTube I just showed you. I would now like to present you a short clip of who these young black men preaching the Bible were and what their message was.
I'm going to speak up. The Lord said he shall send us against a hypocritical nation. You make us swear on the Bible. You got on the back of the court system, "In God we trust." On the back of your dollar bill, it says, "In God we trust." But you give faggots rights. The Bible condemns homosexuality, man. They're still humans.
You can hear him yell out the homophobic slur, talk about how the Bible condemns homosexuality. You can hear one of the MAGA kids yell, "They're still humans." This is a very nuanced situation. Many people are unaware that the group of black activists being reported by CNN are actually a homophobic hate group known as the Black Hebrew Israelites. What I can surmise so far from the 2-hour live stream is that for about an hour, these young MAGA kids were standing on the stairs of the Lincoln Memorial waiting for their bus. According to their official statement, they were told to wait there by their chaperones. Many of them got very close to the Black Hebrew Israelites, and they started to argue with them, mostly about the Black Hebrew Israelites calling them homosexuals and insulting one of their black friends. This is all in the live stream. It will be available in the description below if you want to watch the full raw version. Apparently, at some point, the Native American man approached the group, went in between the Black Hebrew Israelites, and started banging his drum. The Trump supporter kids can be seen chanting something about their school when the Native American man enters their group, and as you saw from the first video, walks up to this young man. Again, I'm not saying don't be angry with the kids. I'm not saying this to defend the kids. I just want to make sure you realize the situation is much more nuanced. Another important point to bring up is that the initial video that went viral was produced by an activist who claimed these young men had sought out the Indigenous March and surrounded this man. The video I will show you contradicts that narrative. This was being shared far and wide. As of right now, this image has 8,600 retweets. It says, here's a woman who was attending the march describing what happened in her own words. The image says, at the close of the Indigenous Peoples March and Rally, the few of us left lingering to chat and meet were confronted and surrounded by 50 to 70 young people wearing Trump's hats, t-shirts, and other apparel. The group consisted of mostly white men who sought to intimidate, mock, and scare us with a mob mentality in order to silence a demonstration that was mostly concluded. The group outnumbered us and enclosed our small group chanting "Build the Wall" and other Trumpisms. The group was clearly looking for any opportunity to get violent, and they consistently infringed upon our space, inching closer and closer, bumping into us and daring us to get physical. They surrounded us, screaming, cajoling, and mocking the elder singer with intentionally disrespectful dancing and attempting to chant "Sing louder than him." He did not break focus or move an inch for the entirety of the encounter. And perhaps the saddest part of all is that his song was medicine to calm the anger and toxicity of these men. Now, after reading the statement, I'm going to show you the clip from the raw live stream where the man actually approaches this group, countering the activist narrative.
Come. See how much they respect you, Israel? Look at all of them. All these Americans. Go ahead, what you say? That's right. Here come Gad. Here come Gad. Here come Gad. Look at our Make America Great Again hats. Look at the hats. Look at the hats. We ain't taking. Look, we not taking. Look at Gad. That's right, Gad. Look at Gad. Look at Gad not playing. He came to the rescue. Our elder right there. Look at him. Yeah, y'all better not touch him. Y'all better not touch him. Hey, now they gonna join in, huh?
No,
Gad put that thing down, don't he?
Gad, he calm all these spirits right
down.
down.
Gad's serious with it, ain't he?
Gad's serious with it. He calm all these spirits.
Now that you've heard the activist statement and seen the video, I'd like to present you the narrative that the students have presented. According to a statement published by a local news anchor in Cincinnati named Adam Clements, this email was sent to him. Hello, Local 12 News. At the present time, I have an urgent request that truly is of the utmost importance, a request that supersedes my entire being and applies to the integrity of all Americans. You have probably seen or heard of the video of students wearing MAGA gear supposedly harassing, bothering, and jeering at a Native American veteran. This is not true and taken entirely out of context. I am a student at Covington Catholic and was present at the occurrence. Here is what truly happened. Every year, my school attends the March for Life in D.C. and afterward tours the city. Our chaperones and teachers told us to be at the Lincoln Memorial at 5:30 to be ready for the buses to pick us up. 5:30 came around, and we were all gathered at the memorial. As we are an all-male school that loves to get hyped up, hence our cheer section's name, Colonel Crazies. And as we have done for years prior, we decided to do some cheers to pass the time. In the midst of our cheers, we were approached by a group of adults led by Nathan Phillips, with Phillips beating his drum. They forced their way into the center of our group. We initially thought this was a cultural display since he was beating along to our cheers. And so we clapped to the beat. He came to stand in front of one of my classmates who stood where he was smiling and enjoying the experience. However, after multiple minutes of Mr. Phillips beating his drum directly in the face of my friend, mere centimeters from his nose, we became confused and started wondering what was happening. It was not until later that we discovered they would incriminate us as a publicity stunt. As a result, my friend faces expulsion for simply standing still, and our entire school is being disparaged for a crime we did not commit. To reiterate, we did not partake in any physical or verbal abuse, did not chant "Build the Wall" or mock or anything of the like, and did not seek to incite violence. After the initial occurrence, we were then verbally assaulted by the 4 or 5 African American men who called us, I'm not going to say this word on stream, but it's the homophobic slur I presented earlier, and berated one of our African American students for being with us. The truth needs to come out. I pray that you read this and can speak for us who are silenced by the media. Here is video evidence of Nathan Phillips approaching the group of Covington Catholic students, showing that we did not approach him, but he approached us. The later half of the occurrence showing Phillips' group inciting debates as well as harassment of the students by another group, and a second video of the harassment of students. As you can see by these videos, the true story is quite different from that portrayed by the media. A great injustice has been done, and it is our duty to see that the truth prevails. Additionally, Mr. Phillips has a history of claiming racial harassment. I am by no means disparaging his credibility, but this should be taken note of. You can clearly see that both sides are presenting their narrative, their version of events. And I do believe that it is likely many of these children did not show any respect for the elder, but I would also say they probably didn't have any idea of what was actually going on. When I first saw this video, I ignored it. It came out the other day, and I just saw a man beating a drum in front of a bunch of kids, and I didn't know what the context was. But immediately, everybody formed a mob targeting these kids, threatening violence against them, calling for their identities, and calling for their expulsion. Quite possibly the most notorious tweet was from Wheeler Walker Jr., who said, "I know I have fans in Paris Hills, Kentucky. If you know this little S, punch him in the genitals and send me the video of it, and I'll send you all of my albums on vinyl autographed." This certainly wasn't the only call for violence. Some other high-profile individuals, such as Reza Aslan, said, "Honest question, have you ever seen a more punchable face than this kid's?" Though this is not a direct call for violence, we can see that very high-profile individuals are insinuating, or in some cases actually calling for violence. These are just 2 verified accounts with many followers I presented to you. There are many more Twitter accounts that are advocating for violence against these young men. Take that however you like, but let's move on. Possibly the most alarming thing to me about all of this is how many news organizations have published the stories without seeking comment from any of the kids involved. Typically, when a news organization is seeking to understand what happens, you will look at all of the videos, including the 2-hour-long live stream, try and figure out at what point these groups came together, who was at fault, if anyone, and what is actually going on. My initial reaction to this video was that it was nothing. Once people started getting angry about it, I said, I just don't see what this is. The Native American man walked up to these kids beating his drum, then they both left in opposite directions. The narrative continually changes, and now some high-profile journalists have been messaging me saying, well, that kid was blocking his path. But as you saw in the video, the Native American man approached this group of kids who were chanting for their school and waiting on the stairs. They're not blocking him in any way. You could argue, yeah, this kid was standing in front of him, but the Native American man walked up to him. Some people have asked me, well, then why didn't the kid just move? I don't know. I could ask the same question of the Native American man. I'm not going to accuse anyone of being at fault. Clearly, those on the left are upset with these kids wearing the Trump hats, and people on the right are actually calling this Native American man the harasser, saying he harassed these kids. I don't care what your opinion is on the matter. I just want you to know what actually happened. Ultimately, it was not really much. When you look at the raw live stream, you can see the Black Hebrew Israelites are yelling hurtful and hateful things. Many of these kids are countering them, booing them, and jeering at them. When the Native Americans approach, the Black Hebrew Israelite says, here comes our elder, and insinuates they're essentially there to provide backup or defense. The Native American man then goes into the crowd of young people beating his drum. In the end, after a few minutes, both groups leave in opposite directions. That's it. I'm really confused as to why everyone is freaking out over this, and I gotta say, it's very alarming to me that mainstream publications are running the story far and wide without a statement from any of those actually involved other than Nathan Phillips. You have more than one side to this. The Black Hebrew Israelites were also essentially harassed according to his narrative. Why don't they get the statement from them? It's just one person that they're putting on TV and interviewing. But possibly the most important thing I can say is, please do not join a mob ever. There are people calling for violence against these kids. These kids are having their lives ruined. Even if they're disrespectful, even if you do not like them, it does not warrant committing acts of physical violence against them, sending them threats and death threats, and putting their lives in danger. By all means, be angry, be upset. But first, I ask you, watch the raw live stream. Watch what these kids were saying to the Black Hebrew Israelites. Watch when the Native American came in, and look at the greater context. And beyond that, if you are still angry, please denounce the violence and speak out against those who are encouraging it. Plain and simple. For the rest of you, please share this video with anybody who is confused about what's actually going on, because there are many people who I believe are good intentioned who haven't seen the full context and don't realize it's much more complicated. There were 3 parties involved. The MAGA kids did not go to the Indigenous March. The Native men went to their gathering as they were waiting for a bus. At no point in the 2-hour live stream did I hear anyone chant "Build the Wall." I could be wrong, but I did not hear it, and I sat through that thing, and it is what it is. People are going to be angry, and it's rather scary that most people haven't actually watched any of the videos and are just pushing one particular narrative. This could be extremely dangerous, as people are calling for violence and more people join the mob. There are even people sending me threats for trying to present context. It is what it is. Welcome to the culture war. Comment below, let me know what you think. We'll keep the conversation going. Thanks for hanging out. I'll have more videos on my second channel, youtube.com/TimCastNews at 6 p.m. I'll see you all then.